Continúan las actividades del evento North Capital Forum 2024, donde participan empresarios, instituciones económicas y académicas. Hay presencia de Canadá, de Estados Unidos, de México. El embajador de Estados Unidos en México, Ken Salazar, el embajador de Canadá en México, Graham Clark, estuvieron ahí, manifestaron su confianza en que continúe el TEMEC para la integración de la región. En este evento, mi compañera Regina Reyes Heroles conversó con Harry Krensky. Él es fundador, socio gerente de Discovery Americas. Aquí parte de lo que le dijo.
Alejandro, muy buenas noches. Encantada de acompañarte de nuevo para hablar del tema electoral y cómo las elecciones en Estados Unidos impactan a México. El día de hoy, desde el North Capital Forum, tuve la oportunidad de entrevistar a Harry Krensky. Él es fundador y managing partner de Discover Americas, un fondo de private equity que invierte en empresas para hacerlas crecer. Lleva 30 años de inversionista en la región y es, por ejemplo, fundador de Volaris, una empresa que conocemos, y está en el Consejo de Administración de Kitsania, otra empresa mexicana también que opera a nivel internacional. Y un poco esta visión de Krensky, o lo interesante, es cómo se ha detenido la inversión en esta incertidumbre por un momento electoral tan complejo y aquellas cosas que podrían ayudar a ir soltando de nuevo o animando a los inversionistas.
Sure. So elections always are a time of change. You get new policies. In the case of both Mexico and the United States, we have significant policy choices to make, and the outcomes of the election, both in Mexico, had changes for Mexico, and in the U.S., there's two paths forward for the U.S. that have different characteristics, let's say, for the markets. And investors in general, uncertainty is not the friend of investors. We don't like it. And people that do foreign direct investment say, let's wait and see what happens. Traders sometimes decide to run to defensive positions. So it's a situation where getting rid of uncertainty, knowing the situation, whether it's good or bad, allows people to make decisions. And not having that clarity, it gives people pause or risk aversion. First of all, private equity has to sort of stay always on. We make long-term bets in places like Mexico, and we can't turn on and off as easy as other types of investors. But I would say there's a number of conditions that need to take place to sort of return, call it, to a positive, optimistic view of the markets, or get people to invest in a new set of facts. So I think having the U.S. election is really important. I think having the new administration in Mexico give more clarity and details on what they're going to do and how foreign investors are going to be treated. And look, I think the words are really good.
We are at the North Capital Forum, and we're talking about the region and why it is important to think about the three countries as interconnected, but with a commercial relationship that can be stronger, maybe.
The strength of North America in a world that is becoming more regional, more fragmented, is a blessing. It's the friction between North America, let's say, and China, or at least the U.S. and China, is a blessing for Mexico, and it's an opportunity. And when I look at Mexico, in the last couple of years, we've done pretty well. We've outperformed what many people expected, but we didn't live up to our abilities. And if you stripped out the blessing of nearshoring, the last 6 years would not have been as nice as they were in Mexico. So when I look forward, I say what makes me sad and optimistic at the same time is we should be sitting here talking about 3 to 4% growth in Mexico because of being in North America, because of nearshoring, and because of what's going on in the world. And instead, we're talking about 1.5% of GDP. And again, there's a lot of countries in the world that would be very happy to have 1.5% of GDP. And the nearshoring trend will continue and will ensure at least a very high minimum for Mexico, but the gap between that high minimum and where we should be is a cause for sadness or a cause for why don't we figure it out? And if the government and the private sector can figure a way to work together and talk it through, it's actually a much easier objective than people may think.